Greetings and welcome to my YouTube channel, One Who Sees Tarot. This is a very special video, and this video is for all of the astrological signs. I'm getting ready to prepare for September's videos, but I wanted to make sure that I do this video first, and I've really been thinking about this for about a week or more. And I thought it was rather important that we talk about a few things as it relates to spirituality, psychic phenomenon, science of mind, and basically changing your frequencies so that you would be aligned with the universe. Before I get into the actual content of the video, I want to make sure that I thank all of you for subscribing and for liking and for commenting and for listening. I really appreciate it. The YouTube channel is showing so much progress, and it is actually showing a very steady, a nice flow, a nice growth rate, and I really appreciate that. You know, I don't have 20,000, I don't have 100,000 people viewing, I don't have 100,000 people subscribing, but I really appreciate the fact that we are relatively new and that we are growing, and that's just amazing to me. So thank you all very much. Okay, let's get into the heart of the matter. Okay, some of you might very well know, you probably do know, that on the 21st of August, there's going to be an Eclipse New Moon. And when you talk about a new moon, or when you talk about particularly this new moon, I want to reference some things. I want you to think about some things that are that are connected to this. Number one, it is scientific fact that the oceans and the tidal waves, etc., the water that's on the earth responds to the moon. We already know that. Scientifically, we know that. There have been a number of experiments that have proved that thinking a certain way also has an effect on the molecules in water, the molecular structure in water. And of course, I reference Masuro Emoto, please forgive me. He was a Japanese author, researcher, photographer, and entrepreneur. And he claimed that human consciousness has had an effect on the molecular structure of water. And what he was able to do was to take several glasses of water and take pictures of the water molecules before, and then apply different words just by taping the words to the various glasses and then coming back to them after a period of time and looking at the water molecules and showing how thoughts and vibrations and emotions have a profound effect on the water molecules in his experiment. So once again, I said that the moon has an amazing effect on the water on the earth. Now, if I bring that closer to your attention and tell you that, you know, your body is 3/4 water. And so in many ways, our human body reflects the general makeup of the earth, actually. We actually reflect the universe. And so with that being said, it would stand to reason then that an eclipse, particularly this one, a new moon solar eclipse, is going to have a profound effect. In fact, some of you are already feeling it. Some of you are already experiencing the energies right before the new moon, and you're going to experience these energies for the next 6 months or so. I have been inviting all of you to come in for a private reading, and I've had a very nice flow of clients, and I appreciate it. It's been great meeting all of you from around the world. But I want to admonish you, I want to really encourage you to come in either to me or another reader or gifted person, whether it's astrology, numerology, whether it's feng shui, whether it is, as I said, astrology or the sacred tarot. whatever way you want to subscribe, whatever type of spiritual and psychic or metaphysical vibration that works for you and feels comfortable for you, you really should this week find a gifted person who has these particular gifts and who can give you some guidance so that you can be aligned with the energy in the universe. Now, the name of this video really is changing your frequencies to be aligned with the eclipse solar new moon. That's the whole name of this video. Before I go further into the eclipse and the specific dynamics, let me reference two other studies that were made. In Washington, and this happened around 1993, there was an experiment done, and it was done by John Hagelin. You can Google his name and you can find out about these experiments. And what happened was there was an experiment done with a concept or a process through transcendental meditation called super radiance. And what happens is when you gather a certain amount of participants, transcendental meditators who practice siddhas, and they practice a particular type of meditation, and they radiate positive energy out into the universe around them. What happened was, in 1993, when this experiment was done, the crime rate in Washington dropped 23%. In other words, you had these people sitting in a park in the center of Washington, and because of a constant flow of this energy that they call super radiance, they being the Washington residents, did experience a 23% decrease in crime. That's amazing. In addition, those of you that would like to look at a very, very good documentary that talks about some of the things that I'm going to share with you briefly in this video, you certainly should view the documentary, the full documentary of The Secret. It's an amazing work, and I mean, it's just one of many works, but it does talk about pretty much what I'm going to talk about this evening. All right, let's go back into this moon business. Let's talk about this solar eclipse. An eclipse cycle, usually a regular new moon, the energy, according to some astrologers, usually lasts about 4 weeks or so. With this particular eclipse cycle, you're going to see and you're going to experience these energies over a 6-month cycle. Now, some of you have been feeling agitated, and some of you have been experiencing, some of you have even had dreams. I know that. And some of you have been experiencing a rushing sensation. You may have had an influx of people coming into your life. You may have had people exiting your life. You may have had some very, very interesting and unexpected changes that took place overnight in your life. And so, what I want us to do is I want us to consider these energies. And I want us to see how we can harness these energies so that these energies, we can take these energies and understand them and embrace them. And then we can change our frequency and therefore change our world and the dynamics of our world, our personal world. Oftentimes, I talk to clients and I tell them to change their frequencies or to change their vibrations. And sometimes I have to prescribe different things for each individual client. And the idea is that everything in the universe is vibrating. Everything in the universe is vibrating. There are cells vibrating in rocks. They're vibrating very slowly. The whole universe is in flux. The whole universe is moving. So everything is vibrating. The question is, on what frequency is it vibrating? This new moon, this solar eclipse new moon on the 21st, is going to be in the sign of Leo. Leo is, as we know already, the lion-hearted. It is already the brave and the confident and independent thinker. It is that type of an energy with Leo. When you put this solar eclipse new moon in Leo, and then you do some more stuff, you look at the rest of the planetary dynamics that are happening on the 21st, and you have the sun and the moon, of course, that is the solar eclipse conjunct. You also have Mars, which is the planet of energy and courage and drive and a wind type of a concept. You have all of those planets in Leo on the 21st, pushing you. It's going to push you whether you embrace it or not. It's going to cause changes in your life whether you embrace it or not. You also have Mercury retrograde for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Well, I think it's about 2 weeks. With Mercury retrograde, people say that it's not a good time to start new contracts. It isn't, I would imagine. And it's a time when communications might get thwarted. In reality, the other way of looking at it is that it's also a time for depth of study and depth of understanding and communication. So basically the idea of retrograde is that a planet is not actually sitting still, but it appears to have slowed down. In astrology, we interpret that as a planet that is intensifying its energy in that particular area. In addition to the solar eclipse new moon in Leo, that new moon is also trine. In other words, it has a nice vibration, nice angle to Uranus. Uranus is in Aries. Let's go back. Uranus is the planet of change, the future, out of the box thinking, etc. And it's in Aries. Aries, once again, drive and energy and passion and movement. Uranus is in opposition, or it's opposite of Jupiter. And that is really working in a good way, because Jupiter is expansion, energy, good luck, good vibrations and growth. And that's touching, or I should say that it's forming an angle where it's looking straight across, in a manner of speaking, at Uranus. So you have new energy. So all over the astrological chart for this particular cycle, you have all kinds of new energy symbols and signifiers. This is a time for new energy. This is a time for new beginnings. This is a time for us to really take heed, and not just take heed, but also to think about the things that we want to happen in our lives. So some people, as I said, are going to leave us. Some people are going to stay. Now, some things are going to happen that are good things, and some things are going to happen that you may not think necessarily they're good today, but when you do think about it, you realize that it was necessary for these changes. Some things have to be cleaned out so that you can now move your agenda for your personal life. So all this that I'm talking about really brings us to changing your frequency, where everything is vibrating, but it's changing your frequency that's important. So when I talk to people about changing their frequency, which is why I admonish you to come into me or somebody for a reading of some type, where you're looking at these metaphysical, spiritual, psychic energies, and you're finding out some truth that is going on outside of your limited mind, outside of our own mundane mind. We're actually reaching out and reaching further, and we're asking questions of the universe, and gifted people can respond to us and give us information. Changing your frequency is not creating. It's not creating something. You don't actually create, not on this level. You don't actually create the car that you want. You don't actually create the job that you want or create the income that you want. When I talk about changing your frequencies, I'm talking about looking at the dynamics in the universe and then consulting a spiritual guide and then aligning yourself, aligning your frequency with the frequency of what's going on in our universe astrologically, numerologically, and according to the sacred tarot. So when you align yourself with the energies of the universe, you're going to experience the better good. You're not going to be fighting against the grain. You're going to be going with the grain, and you're going to be experiencing the good. I've read in a book of wisdom that there's a time and a place for everything. Some of us want to force things to happen. And one of the things that I talk about many times when I do readings, I talk about you can't change, you can't run ahead. Do not run ahead of your destiny. Don't run ahead of your destiny. Allow things to happen when they're supposed to, and you change your frequency so that you can be receptive of when the right time. There's no reason to fear. There's no reason to doubt. The universe and you are one. The universe wants to bless you. The spirit, the ancestors want to give you the best good that you can possibly imagine, even better than the good that you think you deserve. But you need to become aligned with the energy. That's why you need a spiritual consult with somebody. Even if you don't come to me, go to somebody and get some information. I want to end this video because I don't want it to be too long, but I do want to end it with 6 areas or 6 dynamics, 6 practices, I would say, that will help you to adjust your frequency. First of all, let's talk about believe it. You have to align your frequency with things that are believable. That's why I say take advantage of a spiritual consult with some guide. So you can find out what you feel, and you can find out what's going on around you and what the spirit is saying will probably happen for you. You want to think about creating an affirmation and writing a list of desires based on what you can really believe. Some of us say, well, I want to be a billionaire, but we don't even have jobs. So you can't go from unemployed to billionaire in 30 days. That's the type of energy that I'm talking about. So you have to fight against that type of exertion of your energy. So you need to work with something that you can believe. And the interesting thing about it is, the more spiritually minded you become, the more in touch you will be with the things that are destined for your life. So even if you don't have them today, there is a belief inside of you where you can actually feel those things. You actually know that those things are part of your destiny. So believe it, and then think about it. I teach people all the time to get prayer beads or the rosary or some type of a bead or symbol or some type of a physical manifestation that will allow you to repeat your thought pattern over the course of the day. The things that you think about over the course of the day are going to happen for you. So if you align yourself with the things that the universe is saying are yours and destiny for yourself, for your life path, and then you begin to think about those things, you're now going to move closer and quicker in achieving them. But because we live in the world of constant distraction, we have to create a formal type of an exercise. We do affirmations, prayers, chants, those type of things, and that's how we begin to think about the things that we want, the better good for our lives. Then I want you to see the thing that you want. I've counseled a number of people, and people say they want to buy a particular car, and I say, well, have you gone to the dealership and have you test driven the car? No. Do you have a brochure about the car? No. Have you studied anything about the car? No. Okay, well, you need to see it. You need to bring it into a 3-dimensionality. It exists in 3-dimensionality. So you need to go see the car, see the house, See the area. I have advised people that want to work on in the financial market to find the financial market in your state, in your city, and walk through it. So as you are applying for jobs, you need to see you need to see it, you need to taste it, you need to smell it, you need to hear the vibrations, you need to believe it, think it, and see it. And then you need to say it. You need to talk about what you want. You need to talk about where you want to be. You need to talk about what you want to have. And some people will say, well, you can't talk about your business to everybody. That is true. But if you're talking about something and somebody around you is not talking about something that is complementary, or if they're not giving support to where you're going, then you're with the wrong group of people. So you need to be comfortable talking about, this is what I want to do, this is my plan for doing it, and I'm putting it together, and every day I'm making 100% improvement on yesterday. And then you have to act on it now. So you have to act on your goals and your plans. So you have to write a list. Perfect thing to do during this eclipse new moon cycle. Write a list. Then you need to get pictures of the things that you want, or some type of an image, so that you can begin to you can adjust your frequency to that. You're adjusting your thoughts to the image. And you're acting upon it by actually making a move towards it today. So what am I saying? So one of my dear friends has just presented a challenge to me, because both of us are always dealing with financial challenges. I mean, we're grateful to the universe and to the ancestors that we're able to make it through those economic challenges, but we could actually do better if we were to be more responsible with savings. And so what we've decided to do, we challenged each other to act upon our financial plan. So she actually did a financial plan using various software. And then she found different types of banking systems so we could put money away and not touch it. That's called acting upon your goals. You want to be rich, well, you have to begin to accumulate. You want to be married, then you have to sleep on one side of the bed and leave the other side of the bed open for the spirit to bless you with your mate. You want to have a professional job, then you'll have to go to school. It's that type of thing. You have to act on it. And then after you have acted on it, after you have believed it, think it, see it, say it, act it, now I want you to just embrace it and experience it and let it happen for you. And it will happen for you. This is a very, very powerful time. If you begin to do these things that I have admonished you to do, you're going to experience things that you've never experienced before. And I want to tell you that everything that you're going to experience, once you put these ideas and these practices into motion, everything that you're going to experience is actually preparing you and preparing it, whatever the it is for you, it's preparing you together. It's preparing both of you. And so the process is part of the success. Don't forget that. The process is part of your success. You have to enjoy all of it. You have to embrace all of it. And so the idea for those of you in my listening audience, I want you to get a spiritual consult. I want you to have someone look at your astrological chart, your numerology, as well as your sacred tarot. I want you to align your frequency of thought, your frequency of action, your frequency of speech. Align that with the dynamics and the energies that are going on in the universe around you. I apologize for talking so long on this video, but it is worth it if you can apply this. Think of the value added. Alrighty? Alright, so now I will end the video by, of course, inviting you in for a private reading. Those of you that would like to come in for a private reading of the Sacred Tarot, please reach out to me at onewhosees4you@yahoo.com. That's onewhosees4you@yahoo.com. Thank you very much. Get those frequencies together. I'm telling you, it will work. It has worked for me. And if you reach out to me, I will help you create your affirmations. And I will also give you spiritual advice about changing your frequencies. All righty? All right, bless you.